them in the form of vectorial forms. We have then seen what a magnitude of a vector is. It's under root of your x square coordinate plus y square coordinate plus z square coordinates. We have then seen what are different types of vectors. Different types of vectors include your zero vector, unit vector, your null vector, what are co-initial vectors and co-terminal vectors. After which we have also seen basic algebraic operations on these vectors. Basic algebraic operations include addition of two vectors, subtraction of two vectors. In today's lecture, we are going to see multiplication of vectors. Apart from that, we have also seen triangle law and parallelogram law. Triangle law states that if I'm going to add two sides, it's going to give me the third side. Say suppose there are three sides of a triangle A, B, and C. I can say that if the directions are in the same direction, the sides are in the same direction, then A bar plus B bar is equal to C bar. And we have also seen parallelogram law. For parallelogram law, I can say that addition of two sides is equivalent to the diagonal. We have also seen some properties of vectors. Vectors are associative in nature, vectors are commutative in nature. Vectors also satisfy the identity property, which is identity inverse in nature. So let's continue. Okay, is my green screen visible now? Type in yes just to let me know. Perfect. So Ritwik is able to see it. There we go. So today we are going to see multiplication of vectors. There are going to be four major parts. First is your dot product, which is A bar dot B bar. Then we have our cross product, which is A cross B bar. Then we have our scalar triple product and vector triple product. So first we'll start with dot product. Consider two vectors A bar and B bar, and there is an angle, say suppose theta, which is formed between these two vectors. Then I can say that A bar dot B bar is nothing but magnitude of A into magnitude of B into cos of theta. From this equation, I can also say that the value of cos theta is nothing but A bar dot B bar upon magnitude of A multiplied with magnitude of B. If A bar and B bar are having coordinates such as AX plus AY plus AZ, and B bar is having coordinates BXI bar plus BYJ bar plus BZK bar, then A bar dot B bar can also be obtained by using this formula: AXBX plus AYBY plus AZBZ. Let us see what is the geometrical importance of dot product. So dot product is nothing but projection of vector A bar on another vector B bar. Suppose this is your vector A bar, this is your vector B bar. I am going to draw a perpendicular from A bar onto B bar. Let us say that perpendicular meets at point D. Let us say the origin is O. Then this distance from O to D is my projection. And this distance OD bar, or the length of this OD, is equal to this vector A bar multiplied with, or the dot product with, B bar divided by the projection, or the perpendicular is drawn on B bar. So I'm going to divide on magnitude of B bar. This is known as projection of A bar on B bar. If on the converse, if I draw a perpendicular from B to A, then that would be known as projection of B bar on A bar. So consider another diagram where I'm drawing a perpendicular from B bar onto A bar. Then this length is equal to A bar dot B bar divided by magnitude of A bar. So this is nothing but projection of B bar on A bar. So if I am saying projection of A bar on B bar, then B bar term, magnitude of B bar is going to be in the denominator. If I am saying projection of B bar on A bar, magnitude of A is going to be in the denominator. There are a few other properties which are important, such that the multiplication is commutative in nature. So A bar dot B bar is also equal to B bar dot A bar. Also, important property is if I multiply I dot I, J cap dot J cap, K cap dot K cap, the value of these terms is 1. And if I'm multiplying with other terms, the value is 0. If I say that my dot product is 0, formula for my dot product is this, AB cos theta. So that means if A bar and B bar are two non-zero vectors and still my dot product is 0, then the angle theta should be 90 degrees because cos of 90 would be 0. If angle between A and B is 90, which means A bar is perpendicular to B bar. So remember this important condition that if my dot product is 0, then the two vectors are perpendicular in nature. Okay, you can copy down this much. You have 30 seconds for this. If anyone has any questions, they can ask. So Rutvik, Pranali, Srushti, Anukul, Yash, Omkar, Preeti, Neha, Tanvi, you have any doubt? No doubt from Yash. Do you have any doubts? No. Okay. Okay, so should we move on to next? Perfect. Next point is a cross product. Cross product is given by this A cross B, and value of cross product is equal to magnitude of A into magnitude of B into sine of theta, and it is multiplied with n cap. N cap is a unit vector which is perpendicular to both A and B. Therefore, I can say that n cap is unit vector which is perpendicular to B bar and A bar, both these vectors. Value of A cross B is also equal to I, J and K. Then we have a X, A, Y, A, Z and Bx, By and Bz terms. So simplifying this determinant will also give you the value of A cross B. What is geometrical significance of your cross product? You can get your area of parallelogram. Therefore, I can say that area of parallelogram is equal to A cross B. Is there any other formula for getting area of parallelogram? Yes. Other formula for getting area of parallelogram is half multiplied with your diagonals, d1 into d2. So if two diagonals of parallelogram are given to you, you can use this formula, half d1 d2. If you know two sides of the parallelogram, then you can use this formula. Sometimes out of these four, that is your two sides and your two diagonals, three of the things will be given and you have to find the fourth thing. So you can just equate them, and on equating you would get your fourth unknown term. After area of parallelogram, we can also get area of triangle. Area of triangle is nothing but it's going to be half of area of a parallelogram. So if area of parallelogram is A cross B, area of triangle is going to be half of A cross B. In one parallelogram, you can easily obtain two triangles. Next, we'll see some properties of cross product. It is not commutative in nature. So A cross B is not B cross A. It is minus of B cross A. The other properties are it is associative in nature. Therefore, I can say that A, if it is B plus C in here, that is also equal to A cross B plus A cross C. It is also commutative. So say suppose I have LA plus MB plus NC. What I can do is I can take out all the constant terms LM and N and keep inside A plus B plus C. So you can easily understand this property by understanding the representation of cross product as a determinant form. So in a determinant, I can easily take out anything common from one particular row. Unlike your matrix, in matrix you'll have to take out from the entire matrix, from each element of the row and column. But while solving determinant, even if you take out anything common, you just have to take common from only one entire row or only one entire column. Therefore, if I'm taking out L from one row, M from another row, and N from another row, then I can say that this is equal to LMN in bracket A plus B plus C. Also, as it is cross product is a representation in the form of a determinant. If any two rows of a determinant or any two columns of a determinant are identical, then that value of determinant becomes 0. Therefore, if I do cross product in such a way that A cross B dot A, value of this is going to be equal to 0. Also, if I do say suppose B cross A dot B, value of this term is also going to be equal to 0. Another important property is that cross product is cyclic in nature. That means suppose I have my ijk. If I do cross multiplication between I and j, so I cross j is equal to, I'm going to get the third element, which is k. If I do j cross k, I'm going to get my third element, which is I. If I'm going in clockwise direction, my answer is positive. If I'm going in anti-clockwise direction, my answer would be negative, which means if I do j cross I, I'm still going to get k. However, as I'm going in anti-clockwise direction, the value in this particular case is going to be minus. So j cross I is nothing but minus of k. Okay, just try to see if we can fit in few more properties. Yeah. So here we go. If my cross product is 0, then I can say that my vectors are parallel. For dot product, we had AB cos theta. So cos of 90 gives me 0. Over here we have AB sine of theta. Sine 0 is 0. And if angle between two vectors is 0, that means the two vectors A bar and B bar are going to be parallel. Therefore, if dot product is 0, the two vectors are perpendicular. If cross product is 0, the two vectors are parallel. Okay, so you can copy it down this much. If you have any doubts, you can ask. You have 30 seconds to copy this. Do you have any doubts, Preeti, Neha, Tanvi, Mrunal, Yash, Omkar, Prathamesh, Srushti, Rutvik, Pranali? If you have any questions, type in. No doubts. No. Okay, good. Pranali, Rutvik is saying no doubts. Good. Okay, Mrunal is saying no doubts. Perfect. So we'll see few questions which are based on a dot product and cross product. Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone? I'm sharing a PPT. Is the PPT screen visible? Can everyone see this question in a parallelogram? ABCD, AB, AD and AC is given to you, and you have to find value of this. Okay, yes, Rutvik and Yes is saying yes. So I'm going to assume that everyone is able to see the screen. So let's see the question. This question was asked in JMOL exam 2015. In a parallelogram ABCD, what you have over here is AB is given as alpha, AD is given as B, and AC is given as C. Then the value of DB dot AB is question mark. Okay, so we'll again go to green screen. Is my green screen visible? The parallelogram that I'm drawing on my green screen, is that visible? Type in a yes or no. Okay, so green screen is not visible. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I'll try to explain in this slide itself. You'll have to do a bit of imagination. In a parallelogram ABCD, what I have is AB is A, AD is my another side which is equal to B, and AC is my diagonal C. Then the value of DB dot AB. Okay, so what would be this value DB dot AB? I have value of this AB bar, magnitude of AB bar is given as A. What I want is DB bar. How can I get DB bar? If I consider my parallelogram ABCD, I can say that DB bar is nothing but B bar minus of A bar. BD bar is nothing but B bar minus A bar. Therefore, DB would be A bar minus B bar by applying your simple triangle law. Therefore, I have both the terms now. DB bar is nothing but A bar minus B bar, and AB bar is nothing but your A bar. I want dot product between these two terms. So if I do dot product A minus B into A, I'm going to get A dot A, which is magnitude of A, into minus of A dot B. So the other thing that I need is the value of my dot product A dot B. So to solve this question, we are going to need two things. First, we are going to need to find the value of dB bar. We can easily get that because dB bar is nothing but A bar minus B bar. And when we are going to multiply, in our multiplication, we have to substitute value of A bar dot B bar. So how can we get A bar dot B bar? If I consider that ABCD is my parallelogram in which I have my sides AB and BC and AC is my diagonal, then applying triangle law in the parallelogram, I can say that A plus B is equal to C. Squaring on both sides, I'm going to get A square plus 2A dot B plus C square is equal to my another third side. On simplification, I'll get values of A bar dot B bar, and I can then substitute that value. Okay, so let's see the solution. Now I can say that in my parallelogram, A bar plus B bar is equal to C bar by applying simple triangle law. And squaring on both sides, I'm going to get A plus B the whole square is equal to C square. So A plus B the whole square is magnitude of A square plus 2 into A bar dot B bar plus B bar square is equal to, on my right hand side, I have C square. Therefore, A bar dot B bar, keeping it on one side, rest all other terms on other sides, because we are going to need this value of A bar dot B bar. Therefore, I can say that A bar dot B is nothing but C minus C square minus A square minus B square by 2. dB bar dot AB bar is nothing but your A minus B dot A. A into A is going to give you magnitude A square minus of A dot B, and we have already found out value of A dot B. Just substitute that value over there. I'm going to get my answer, half 3A square plus B square minus C square. So in this last step, there is a printing mistake. It's A square minus of this term, C square minus A square minus B square by 2. It's not A square is equal to. So just go through the question once again. We were going to need the value of A dot B, and hence we have started with this term, A plus B the whole square is equal to C square. And once we get value of A dot B, we can easily substitute that value to get a final answer. Does anyone have any doubt in this one, this particular question? Should I draw a diagram and explain more in detail, or have you understood? Type in no if you have not understood and you need more explanation. Type in yes if I can move forward to next question. Okay, yes from Omkar. Others? Yes from Runal. Perfect. So will we move forward then? The position vectors of vertices of a triangle are given to you. Let us say that the position vectors are a bar, b bar, and c bar, and the magnitude of altitude from A onto side BC is given. The value of magnitude of altitude from A on side BC is to be found out, and we have four options: this, and this. So if I draw a triangle ABC and drop a perpendicular from point A onto my side BC, and let us say that perpendicular meets at point D on my side BC, then that perpendicular length is question mark. I can get the length of that perpendicular by using my Pythagoras theorem. If I consider my triangle ABD, I can say that AD square is nothing but AB square plus BD square. However, in this particular case, I don't have values of BD and AD. What I can do is, I can first calculate value of AB. I have my position vector of A, which is 3i plus 4j plus k. I have my position vector of B, which is 3j plus k. Using these two, A bar and B bar, I can easily get value of AB bar. I am also going to need the value of BD bar. How can we get value of BD bar in this particular case? BD bar is nothing but projection of A bar onto B bar, and the value of projection is obtained by using a dot product. Therefore, first I'll use A bar dot B bar. That will give me my value of projection, which is equal to length of BD. Then I would find value of AB, which is my side. As I'm having two sides, I can find the third side of my right angle triangle by using Pythagoras theorem. Let's see the solution for this one. AB bar is equal to this term. A is 3i plus 4j plus k and B is 3j plus k. Therefore, AB bar is going to be equal to this. BC bar is equal to, B bar is 3j plus k, C bar is 5i plus j plus k. BD bar is obtained by using this formula. From A, I am drawing a perpendicular onto side BC. That perpendicular is meeting at point T. Therefore, my first vector is going to be AB bar, and onto which side I am drawing the projection, that's going to be on the denominator part. That's BC bar. Therefore, I can say that BD is nothing but AB dot BC upon magnitude of BC. Just simplify the values, we get answer. And by using Pythagoras theorem, I can say that AD square is equal to my previous term, which is BD square plus AB square. How can I get AB square? AB bar is 2i plus j minus 2k. So AB is going to be under root of 2 square plus 1 square plus minus 2 square. So that's under root of 9. So if AB is under root 9, AB square is equal to 9. And we have found out value of BD. BD is 1 by 3. Therefore, BD square is equal to 1 by 9. Therefore, AD square is equal to 9 minus 1 by 9. Simplifying, I get my answer. So, type in if there is any doubt in this particular question. Omkar, Pratmesh, Preeti, Runal. Okay, so no doubts. You have understood this. No doubts from Yash and Omkar. Perfect. Rituk is also saying understood, no doubts. Others? Srushti, have you understood this? Perfect. So we'll move on to the next question. A, B, and C are unit vectors. Unit vectors means that the magnitude is 1. So magnitude of A bar is 1, magnitude of B bar is 1, magnitude of C bar is 1. Also, one condition is given, A plus B plus C is equal to 0, and I have to find value of A dot B plus B dot C plus C dot A. So if we observe carefully, we can say that the term that we need, A dot B plus B dot C plus C dot A, we can get that term by squaring the given information. The given information is A plus B plus C is equal to 0. So if I square on both sides, I'm going to get A plus B plus C the whole square is 0, and then expand the bracket. Expanding the bracket, A plus B plus C the whole square is also equal to A square plus B square plus C square plus 2 times AB plus 2 times BC plus 2 times CA. Take 2 common, and the term that we need, which is A dot B plus B dot C plus C dot A, we can get that answer. So let's see the solution for this one. Magnitudes are given, which are 1. The given information was A plus B plus C is 0. Therefore, we have squared on both sides and then open the bracket. By opening bracket, I'm going to get A square plus magnitude B square plus magnitude C square. Magnitudes are 1, 1, 1. Therefore, their square values are going to be 1. Plus 2 times, in bracket, I have AB plus BC plus CA. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Taking 3 to other side, it's minus 3. And 2 to the denominator. My answer is equal to minus of 3 by 2. Similar to previous question, in this question, x, y, and z are given, which are 3 unit vectors. So again, these are unit vectors. Therefore, I can say that magnitude of x, magnitude of y, and magnitude of z is equal, which is equal to 1. Then the minimum value of this whole term. So I want to find value of x plus y whole square plus y plus z the whole square plus z plus x the whole square. We can directly get the value of this term. If I expand the brackets, I'm going to get x plus y the whole square as x square plus 2 into x into y plus magnitude of y square. If I expand y plus z the whole square, it's going to be y square plus 2 into magnitude of yz plus magnitude of z square. We can easily substitute values of magnitude of x, y, and z because these values are given, which is equal to 1, as x, y, and z are 3 unit vectors. So the values of magnitude x square, magnitude y square, magnitude z square would be 1. However, to find the terms 2 into xy, 2 into yz, 2 into zx, we'll first need to find value of those terms. And we can get the value of 2 into xy plus yz plus zx as we have got in the previous question by simply considering x plus y plus z is equal to 0 and then squaring on both sides. So consider this, x plus y plus z is greater than equal to 0. The question is to find the minimum value. Therefore, we are going to consider greater than equal to sign in this case. On squaring, I'm going to get this term, which was similar as in a previous example. Only in previous examples, the values or the terms x, y, and z were replaced with a, b, and c. Therefore, simplifying, I'm going to get this. The value of this is, just substitute the values and we get an answer. In this particular case, a bar is given, b bar is given. Also, value of 2a minus b is given. You have to find the value of 2a plus b. So whenever questions appear in this format, when a conjugate value is to be found out, that is a value of 2a minus b is given, but value of 2a plus b is to be found out, start with what is given on to you. So 2a minus b value is given, which is 5, and then square it. Upon squaring, I'm going to get 2a minus b the whole square is equal to 5 square, which is 25. Upon squaring, we will easily get value of 2a dot b, and this value is going to be required when we are going to find value of 2a plus b. So let's see the solution for this one. Magnitude of a is given as 2, magnitude of b is given as 3, term is given 2a minus b is 5, therefore squaring on both sides, we get 13 is equal to 13. So there is a printing mistake. It's 4a square plus, instead of 4a the whole square again, it should be b square minus of 4 dot ab. Substitute the value of a, it's 2, therefore 2 square is 4 into 4, 16, plus b value is 3, 3 square is 9, minus of 4ab, I don't have that value, so consider that value as question mark, which is equal to 25. Equating, I'm going to get 16 plus 9, 25 and 25, cancelling on both sides. Value of 4ab. Value of 4ab comes as 0. And once I get this value of 4ab as 0, I can substitute this value in my formula when I want to find value of 2a plus b the whole square. So 2a plus b the whole square is equal to 4a square plus b square minus of 4ab. So there is a printing mistake. 4a square plus, it should be b square instead of 4a square again. I have value of 4a square, which is 16. I have value of b, and I have also found out value of 4ab. Value of 4ab was 0 from the previous 2a minus b equation. Equating, I get value of 2a plus b the whole square as 25. Taking square roots, value of 2a plus b is equal to 5. Next question. A, B and C are vectors which are having magnitudes of 2, 3 and 4 respectively, and you have to find the upper bound of this term. So similar to previous questions where we had seen x plus y the whole square plus y plus z the whole square. In this case, we have a minus b the whole square. So if we expand, we are going to get magnitude of a square minus of 2ab plus magnitude of b square. Values of magnitude of a square is given, magnitude of a is 2. Substitute the value of magnitude of b as 3 and magnitude of z as 4. All the values are given and we can get an answer. To find value of 2 into ab plus bc plus ca, first consider a plus b plus c is equal to 0, square on both sides and expand. The angle between the lines this and this is equal to question mark. Whenever the question is to find angle between two vectors, remember that you are going to use your dot product, because the formula for dot product is a bar dot b bar is equal to magnitude of a into magnitude of b into cos of theta, where theta is the angle formed between those two vectors. Therefore, the question over here states find the angle between the two lines. What we are going to need here in this case is a bar and b bar. The first line equation is in the form of a bar plus lambda b, and the second line equation is also in the form of a bar plus lambda b. We are going to assume a bar as I plus 4j plus 3k, and b bar is going to be a second line direction, which is I plus 2j minus 3k. I'll repeat once again. A bar in this particular case is going to be I plus 4j plus 3k, and b bar is going to be I plus 2j minus 3k. And once we have our a and b, we can directly substitute in a formula to get the angle cos theta. Therefore, cos theta is nothing but a dot b upon magnitude of a into magnitude of b. You can look at this question. If you have any doubts, you can type in. Is there any doubt in this particular question? Neha, Prathamesh, Yash. Okay, Omkar is saying no doubt. Good. Others? Tanvi, have you understood this point? Runal, Neha, Yash, Rutik, no doubts. Perfect. Okay, so we'll stop over here. In our next lecture, we'll see more questions which are based on cross product. We'll also see what is scalar triple product and vector triple product tomorrow. So, see you tomorrow in the next lecture. Thank you, everyone.